I'm in my exam room at my office, and I've had so many people in the last little while come in who have been self-adjusters, meaning they crack their own neck. I'm going to tell you, stop doing this immediately. I'm going to explain to you why this is a problem and what you can do instead to still get some relief. Come with me. Consider this a public service announcement. Share it with everybody you know. Share it with your kids, your family members, anybody you know that self-adjusts or cracks their own neck. It's not a good habit to be in. I've had many new patients come in because they've self-cracked or self-adjusted and they've caused significant problems. The reason why people do it is because they feel their neck is tight, it's jammed up, and it just won't release. If you feel that you have to constantly stretch or crack your neck, there's a few reasons why that is. A, you have restricted joints. The joints, instead of moving like this, they're stuck. So that is one reason. The other reason is sometimes the muscles will tighten up around a joint that is either hypermobile, meaning it moves too much, or unstable. Those two reasons will cause those muscles to tighten up. And no matter how many times you do it, you're just moving the joints that are already moving. The only way to fix that is to move the joints that aren't moving. And the only person that can do that is your local chiropractor. I've been telling people and patients that we often overstretch and understrengthen, and this couldn't be truer for your neck. These muscles are tight for a very specific reason. They are there to support the spine. So if they are chronically tight, it means there's an underlying issue as to why that is. Oftentimes the reason is a weak neck. Our neck sacrifices stability for mobility, so we need to strengthen them. I'm going to show you a really unique way that you can do this in the comfort of your home to help you feel like you don't have to constantly crack your neck. There's very important tissues in your neck that can be damaged if you overdo it or don't do it in the correct way. And if I'm being honest, if you're doing it at home, you've never been trained in it, so you're probably doing it the wrong way, and you're just moving joints that are already moving. Here's some tissues you might be damaging. We have the blood supply to the brain, as there are certain arteries that run up through your neck. We have our vagus nerve that can be affected, that can cause a host of issues. We have a brainstem that's there that is very important for body balance, blood pressure, heart rate. We have our suboccipital muscles, the tiny muscles right here that can be really overstretched or irritated. And we obviously have the spinal nerves. We discussed there's ligaments, muscles, joint capsules, the angle of the facet joints or bones. All that has to be taken into consideration to be able to deliver an effective adjustment. I'm going to show you a safe way that definitely won't replace your chiropractor, but can give you a little relief until you can get in to see them. Okay, so for this one, the first thing we're going to do, you're going to look both ways. And what you really want to notice is there one of the sides that is more restricted than the other? So I'm going to use, for example, my left. Let's say I can move fully to my right, and let's say I can only move maybe 3/4 of the way or 50% of the way. That's the side we want to actually activate. So we're going to do this on the left side if I can't move my head to the left. I want you to focus on one side only. If you're both restricted, then you can certainly do this on both sides, but let's just pretend the left side. So all we're going to do is I'm going to take my hand on the side of my head, I'm going to turn and activate those muscles this way into the side of restriction. I'm going to hold this for 10 to 15 seconds, and then I'm going to relax. Just do a little bit of mobility there, and then we're going to go to the same side. The area in which it's restricted, you're going to go to the end range, and we're going to work there and push into that lack of range. You're going to hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. I hope you're doing this with me. And then we're going to rest. We're going to keep our head in the same position. We're going to come back the opposite way now to the side of restriction. Hold this for 10 seconds. And then relax. That's set one. We're going to do it again. 10 seconds. Hold this for 10. Side of restriction, go as far as you can. You might be able to get a little further this time. Same thing. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds. And then keeping in the same position, we're going to go back the opposite way. And then come back to center. Right away, you'll notice that you have more increased range of motion. This can be done daily to work into the side of restriction. And then to add something at the end, if you want to, just do a little bit of mobility, 10 seconds maybe of back and forth, 10 seconds of flexion and extension, and then 10 seconds of protraction and retraction. Again, you're not forcing anything, you're just warming up the tissue. going through the range of motion as you work the muscles. And then finally, the toughest one for people is lateral flexion. It's not a flexion like this, it's ear to the shoulder. There's very little movement here, but 10 seconds for that. That's it, you're done. Do this every day. You'll notice an improvement in your mobility, an improvement in your range of motion, and I'll bet you even after a few days, you're gonna feel like you have to crack your neck less. Thanks for tuning in. I can't wait to see my next video. Till then, stay well.